Hello, I'm Zorab and this is Byther Farm, and today we're going to get the results of this year's garlic trial. So last November I planted this bed up. Well, I can tell you about it. At this end of the bed I have a small trial going on. I have 6 different types of garlic. I've just planted 3 or 4 cloves of each of the 6 different types in rows across here. And what I want to do is see how the different varieties compare to each other. So the 6 varieties that we're testing are Carcassonne, Early Purple, Germidour, Messidrome, Provence and Solent Wight. So we've got a selection of different types of garlics there. And so today, armed with gloves and a trowel, I'm going to harvest this garlic, harvest it all at the same time. We can have a look at the bulbs, see how they've done. As much as possible, they've all had the same treatment, so if I've actually watered with a hose pipe or the can, I've counted the number of seconds I've watered each one. So hopefully they have all had the same treatment. You can see there are poles in here because I've already got some Greek gigantes beans growing because they needed to get in, and I wanted to leave the garlic until a day when I could have my camera with me and we could have a look at what they all look like. So here we go. This is the Solent Wight, so I'm doing them in reverse alphabetical order, but that'll be fine. We'll look at them as they go. And as with all alliums, they're much better if you give them a helping lift and don't just pull on the leaves, because that will damage the bulb, make it much harder for storing. As you can see, my soil is not fabulous. And for storing garlic, you want to leave as many roots on as you can and allow those to dry with it. So that's quite a small bulb, and again not very large at all, but masses of top growth. This one I actually can't read my own writing, so I'll pop that up on the screen with which variety this is. This has probably the smallest, thinnest stems. It's got a scape on the top there. Another really small bulb. Yes, and these have got the very nice, a nice purple hue around them. I wonder whether the purple will stay once I've taken one layer of the skin back to clean them up. We shall see. I'm hoping the Messidrome is going to be really good because I've got a lot of it planted in the bed. If it's not very good, I'm going to have to resign myself to all of it not being very good. This has got quite a thick stem in comparison to the last one. Oh, this is much better. So that's a nice size. I'm very pleased with that. If we compare that with the Solent Wight, I think you can see here the Solent Wight is so much smaller. I really do think I needed to have left that longer. That's a good lesson to learn for next time. The next one is Germidour. This is the other variety that I have planted in the main part of the bed. Reasonably thick stems on it. Let's have a look. So that's a fairly good size. And the last two left to harvest are early purple and Carcassonne. So I'll get those done and then we'll come back and have a look at them all together. So this is the early purple. Oh, there's a lovely size one there. And then the Carcassonne, which probably has the thickest stems. Wow. I'm really pleased with this. That is really it looks lovely. I'm really hoping these will store well, and then I can plant some cloves in the autumn and have some more next year. I'm quite hot now, although it is fairly overcast today. It is really humid. There is a breeze, there's quite a breeze blowing, and it's just blowing humid air at us. So anyway, the garlic, I'm really pleased with that highly unscientific trial. It was really interesting to see the different types of garlic, see how they've grown in the same amount of time. Now I think the white Solent probably needs longer in the ground. That's one to learn for next year. I don't know if the cloves that I'll collect from that will be big enough to grow next year, but perhaps they will, and I will get them in nice and early. And I will leave them longer. I will leave them till the leaves really are yellowing. And the way that I'm going to remember to do that is that I'm actually going to go and write all this up in my gardening journal, where I keep a record of what I planted, when I planted it, when I harvested it, and anything that's noteworthy, like I think I need to leave that to grow a bit longer. I've made a drying rack for the garlic, so I'll be laying it on the drying rack, which will allow air to circulate freely around it. I'm going to be leaving it for 2 to 3 weeks to cure, and then hopefully that means that it will store really well. If you want to see the video where I started and planted the garlic child, click here, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking here.